Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Laura, and I'd like to welcome you to Stitching by the Shore, my channel about cross stitch and every once in a while some other crafty stuff. Today's cross stitch and more cross stitch, and let's get started because I have a lot to talk about. I do want to say welcome to all of my brand new subscribers. I know I got a shout out, which I want to thank Helen for in just a minute. And all of you who found me in other ways. I know somebody mentioned that she found me from Janet Jabber, another fabulous floss tuber. So if you're not watching her, go see her too. And just if you happened upon me, thank you so much for pressing play. Thank you for giving it a shot. I know there's a lot of floss tubers out there, so I really appreciate you taking the time to watch me. And even better, if you like and subscribe, that's great. Thank you. And for my regular subscribers and viewers, thank you so much for coming back for yet another video. We are into July. Can you believe it? I am really hoping maybe the second half of 2020 will look up a little bit, improve a little bit from the first half of 2020. It's just amazing to me that we've gotten through the first half of the year. It's felt like 27 years. But thank you for coming back and keeping coming back. Some of you are so great about commenting, and I appreciate it. It really makes me feel connected to a group of cross-stitchers because I don't have any local cross-stitchers. So you are my cross-stitching friends, and you really mean the world to me. So thank you. And speaking of, I alluded to it, thank you so much to Helen D for shouting out my video, or my channel, I should say. I came back to cross stitch, last fall, late summer, early fall, somewhere around there. And then I didn't discover Flosstube probably until, I don't know, maybe January. I don't even know. It was a few months in, and I kept thinking, what is Flosstube? I thought it was some sort of thing to hold your floss in until I Googled it, and a whole new world opened up. And I'm still finding floss tubers that you guys all know about. I mean, Helen's been doing this for 3 years? And I just found her maybe 2 months ago, something along those lines. And so there's still more. I know there's more that I haven't discovered, and I am missing a treasure trove of wonderful floss tubing that I will eventually get to. But when I grow up, I want to finish like Helen. So for her to I just love everything and how she does it. So for her to give me a shout out and say she watches me and enjoys it, it means so much. I'm actually going back and watching a lot of her old videos now because I'm behind the times. And I'm like, oh, I'm stitching that. Oh, I'm stitching that. Oh, I like it on that color. It's so funny. And it's just funny how you can find different people just accidentally. And then there's others that stitch. Bree's stitching stuff. She just started 40 count linen. Go Bree. I'm not doing it anytime soon, but I still love watching her. So that's the beauty of Flosstube. Whether I'm watching somebody that does things similar to me or some things differently than me, it's just a connection to this whole stitching community. So thank you for the shout out. Thank you all for checking it out. All right, that's enough chatting. Let's get to some whips. Because we are now in July and I'm doing a Christmas in July, I don't know what I'm calling it, but something Christmassy in July. I will do the Christmas stuff last. Let's do a couple non-Christmas. First off, this is Long May She Wave by Stitching with the Housewives. I'm never gonna get this finished. Maybe next 4th of July, next July, I might have this finished. You know how, now because I haven't been back stitching for a while, I notice it more like I would have some designs with the paper stuff and I'd work, and then I'd be like, that's all I've done. I feel like that with this pattern. Some patterns you do a lot and you're like, oh, wow. This one I feel like and I'll get there. I'm persistent in that way. But this is where I am. I worked on, there's something about this blue color. It totally washes out this green. I worked on the outline of this. I figured, you know what, let's get the truck at least started. I did finish the words, so they are done. This is a thin Aida, so I'm putting this behind just so it's easier to see, so you're not looking through it. And then I started doing some more of the grass. But the big, I did want to get the words done, so I did get that done. And then I decided, you know what, I'll try to tackle some of that truck. So that's where I am for that. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing this through July this year or not. I haven't decided yet. Now that I'm starting stuff for Christmas in July, I want to keep, when I start, I like to continue some things, and I don't want to have too many starts going and not getting anything finished. So I don't know yet on this. I think if it calls to me, I'll do it. I'd love to get at least the outline done, so then I can kind of fill in as I go. I'm looking down at the pattern as I'm doing it. So I don't know. I don't know what's happening with this one yet. I like it. I just feel very unproductive when I stitch it. I'm not sure why. All right, the next one is the Sal that I'm working on. Now I need to grab my iPad, so I need to look down on that. I used to have my iPad set where I didn't have to do, the thumb ID or the passcode. I just turned it on and went on. And then one of the last updates I did, it made me create the passcode, or the thumb I could never get to work right. And it drives me nuts because I just want to be able to, I'm trying to do this, there we go. It makes me have to keep doing the passcode every time I turn it on. Is there a way around it? Does anybody know a workaround on that? If you do, please let me know, and you're a genius. This is what I'm working on next. This is the I'll Be Home series from Twin Peak Primitives. And I'm starting with August. The Sal was created by Pam from Just Keep Stitching, and she is stitching them all as one big piece. I am doing each one separately. I know some people are only doing a month here or there. They're not even doing all 12. And a lot of people are stitching them as a full piece as well. There is a Facebook group, which I'll link down below. And if you're interested, I know Pam is even, if you just want to watch the progress, as long as you answer the questions, which aren't tough questions, she's letting people in. So I'll link it if you're interested. So this is where I really like stitching on this. So every house will have this kind of element to it with different, I don't know if it's always flowers. I'm not sure. I haven't looked closely enough. But I really like how the houses look, and I love that look of the flowers over it. So I'm really enjoying this one. This is stitched on Friendship Green by Fabrics by Stephanie. So it's a very pale light green. I really, really like it. I think the white color is coming. I was a little concerned, but it looks like it's showing up. When I first started stitching it, I was a little worried, but it looks okay. This is 18 count, and if you are new, one thing I will say is that everything I do is 18 count, and I forgot to mention, Long May She Wave is from Garibaldis. It's a navy blue. I'll link, well, Garibaldis still might be closed. I haven't checked lately because they got overrun trying to keep up with orders. So they might still have their Etsy shop on vacation. But I usually will link, I know I always link Fabrics by Stephanie and BeStitchMe because a lot of my fabrics come from them. So, but this one is Fabrics by Stephanie. And I'm really enjoying it. I spent actually more time than I usually do this week on stitching one pattern, because I usually give it a day and a half, 2 days, depending on what I've got in my rotation and when I get tired of stitching something. But I wasn't getting tired of this one. I really did enjoy it. So that one's a fun stitch. It's the first, I think it's the first Twin Peak Primitives I've ever stitched, and I'm really enjoying it. They have some cute patterns. So I think I'll wait, but I definitely am starting a wish list from them because there are some things that are really cute, and I could see doing more of their patterns. All right, those are the non-Christmas. I have one Christmas whip and then 2 Christmas starts. You know this one, Silver Creep Samplers, My Christmas List. I am, where am I? I am, let's see, right about here. So I was trying to figure out, I don't know if it's not quite the halfway point. My goal through July is to get 2/3 of the way done. Now this is being stitched on, I won this during one of the Friday night fight night, kind of the fabric games that Brandy has over at BeStitchMe, and it was not named. When I figure it out, if it is something in her line, I will let you know. But at the moment, it's an unnamed. It's a beautiful shade of green. Really, really pretty. If it's not in her line, I'd love her to do some more of this. So that's what I have. I am just plugging along. I got a lot of the words done. I think this candlestick is coming out. So the one issue with doing the pattern on this fabric, there is a green that is almost similar to the fabric color. So I had to replace the green in this sweater, and I think I replaced it somewhere else. I can't remember where. But I'm slowly, as I'm going along, if something needs to be changed, I'm changing it. And I changed the candle, and I'm not loving it. I don't know if it's the red candlestick or the blue candle. I haven't done the flame yet. It calls for 2 different colors of yellow. One of them I might do the étoile just to add a little bit of sparkle. But I think, and that kind of stumped me for a little bit. So I had done that and I wasn't loving it, and I did do this, but then I decided to put it away because I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might just keep stitching and go back to that because I really don't have an answer for myself yet. You know how it's just not, you look at it and you're like, something's clashing, but I don't know what I want to change. If I want to change both, if I want to change one or the other, and then how it would look, I don't know yet. So I am enjoying this. Otherwise, it's great with the words. It goes along quickly, and me being a goal-oriented stitcher, for me, goals are usually, all right, so if I'm here, the words hot cocoa, the Santa hat, maybe the words, those are my goals for the week. And something like this is great because I feel like I've accomplished my weekly goals, and I have a sense of I did it. And that's where coming into stitching and feeling like you've done something comes in, where I don't have a good goal for long mesh wave. And maybe that's what the problem is. I haven't gone into it when I'm stitching saying, okay, this is what I want to accomplish in the next day or day and a half. And maybe I need to start doing that, and that might help better, because clearly I know what works for me, and I'm not following my own way. So I think I might have to do that. But this one I'm going to continue each week working on through Christmas in July, and I'd like to have this finished for Christmas. I don't know what I'm doing with it yet, and it's going to be way intimidating because it's going to be super long. But hey, I'm enjoying the stitching part. So that's what we're gonna enjoy. Those are the whips. I have 2 starts. I cheated and I started on June 30th. I was like, I want a Christmas start. And then I hadn't started with this next one, and I was like, I want to make sure I get it done. So I did another start. I'm like, that's all right. It's a holiday weekend. I can do what I want. This first one is Country Cottage Needleworks December Cottage. I am stitching all of these up as a gift for my mom. Now, one of my viewers, Eileen, she had mentioned a good way might be just to finish them simply and put them on a little easel, the desktop, tabletop easels. And that's brilliant, because I was thinking about it, and my mom, God bless her, I love her, but if I make things that change out, because I was talking about a wreath and I don't know how to attach, and if it was too difficult to go changing it, I don't know if she would. That would be easy, because I could give her all the finished pieces. She'd have the little easel. It could sit nicely somewhere in her apartment, and then it'd be easy to change out. So I think that's what I might do. Yeah, and then it really wouldn't matter finishing patterns around it. If I did like 2 layers, one with a fabric and one without, it wouldn't matter if it were to, they didn't all have to match, say a wreath or something or other, or even a background if I put it on a frame, because they're just gonna get plopped on an easel. That could go with pretty much everything. So this is done, as I've done all of them. The one thing I did do, which I guess now I didn't have to, but I've started and I like it. I used Vintage Country Mocha, but I used the back side of it. So there's no modeling, and it's a lighter color. I don't know what you'd call it. Maybe a very, very light, I don't know if you'd call it even coffee. I'm not sure. It's a very light color. I love the red, how it looks on this color though. So this was one day. I really enjoyed stitching this one. And I do. I love how, I think it might just be a 321. It's just, oh, I don't have it right here. It might be just a 321, but it looks great against this. It really, really pops. So that is that one. And in the process of trying to find this, I just knocked over the pattern for the other one, which I am not going to crawl under the table again. Because I'd probably hit the table and knock the whole thing over. I am not the most graceful of people. When I was a child, my mother would just shake her head, because if I can bump into it, knock it over, do whatever. It's a good thing she didn't name me Grace, because I would just, it wouldn't be me. So I don't have the pattern to show you, but you've all seen it. It's an old one. It's Dear Santa by Lizzie Kate. I will show it. I enjoyed stitching this week, so I know I'll be stitching it next week. So I'll show you next week. So teaser for next week if you haven't seen it. This is just being done on, it's coffee tea dyed by me. I think it was just a white Aida when I started. And one of the first things before I started getting more of the colorful fabrics was I tried coffee tea dyeing myself. And this is what we got. Again, this is a super fun, fast stitch because there's a lot of words. So that was, I don't know, whatever my allotted time for stitching. I'm using all the called fors. I think they look great. They're very similar. They're very similar to Christmas Rules, which is also Lizzie Kate. And I did it on a coffee tea dyed, and I liked how it looked. So that's part of why I went with this, even though I flirted with using a different color. And I knew that they would show up nicely on this, and they're all pretty much similar. So again, fun stitch. I love the fonts she uses. I really like that one a lot. And I love, it's a cute little piece. So that's where I've gotten on that. So those are my whips. I would like to do at least to start a week. I have 2 more at least planned that I've shown you. I went through my old Christmas whips. I think I need some restarts. I'm not liking some of the choices I made, and I need to figure out what to do. So maybe after those other 2 starts, I bring in an old whip or 2 and try to figure out on those whether I want to restart it, continue where it is, or even stitch it at all, I guess. I mean, I went kind of crazy the first few months that I got back into cross stitch, and I think everything for the most part that I got are things that I would like to stitch. Like, I haven't completely changed my mind in the past, say, 9 months. But I guess I want to make sure. I don't want to just stitch something because I got it. I want to make sure I really do enjoy stitching it. So plans-wise there, that is pretty much, I'll do another start, work on my whips. You know what I have to work on? Hello Pumpkin. Did you see the Caterpillar cross stitch? She is, I don't know if she's done yet. She's in the process of doing colors and finishing up. It's Hello Deer. It's a winter tree. I think it's a sal that will be starting in September of 2020, and I think she said it's going to run for 10 weeks. I love Hello Pumpkin, so I really want to get that one finished before the next one in September starts, the next sal. The only thing with the mystery sals that are tougher for me is I like to start in a corner, and it feels like a lot of times that they release the first parts more towards the middle or in a separate area, which is not what I normally start with. So I don't know if I would start it right when it starts, just because I do like to have my start in a specific spot. But I am so excited to see what it looks like. Hello Pumpkin's adorable. Can you imagine what a little charted deer and Hello Deer is gonna look like? So excited. So that is September, but I know I think she'll start dropping a few little sneak peeks because I think she's working on it. I don't know. That's the last I saw on Instagram. And then I promptly followed her on Facebook too, because I'm like, I need to make sure I am not missing out on that at all, because that is just way too exciting for me. So that's got to be in the plan somewhere. Whether that's in July, I don't know yet. Because, you know, I don't know what other Christmas stuff's going to come out and about. But it's there. If it's not July, it is September. It is a September focus for sure. And other than that, I don't know what I'm doing. We're just taking it as it comes. Shopping. I do have a little bit, not a lot, but you know, I haven't been, I go in ebbs and flows. It's fabric mostly again, because I am really loving building up a fabric stash, and then I can go back to some of those patterns that I went crazy buying and say, okay, what do I want to stitch on? The first one, this is the first time I've tried this fabric dyer. It's a soft aida, actually. It's very soft. It kind of reminds me of Picture This Plus in its softness. This is, she doesn't have a shop like, say, BeStitchMe or Mystic Fabrics or Fabric by Stephanie. She does mostly Facebook, and she doesn't do a line of fabrics. From what I can see, a lot of her dyeing is silks or flosses, which I haven't gotten into, but they look beautiful. The colors are beautiful. And then she does one fabric of the month. And then on Sundays, some Sundays of the month, she'll put a couple of fabrics into it. And it's kind of like the Fright Night or Fabric Games. But she only puts about like 5 or 6 per count. And I never win or get there in time for anything. So I don't really bother trying. But I did like this fabric of the month. And the way it works is, she shows you what it is, and you decide each month separately whether you want it. This is for Dyeing for Cross Stitch. She's on Facebook, and I will link her below. And what she has recently done is she'll open up a website for 1 week in which you can order the fabric of the month, and then there's re-dyes of floss. Again, I don't understand it, and because I don't get the floss, I haven't really tried too hard. This was this past month, so what month? June, it must be June. June fabric of the month. I have no idea what I'm stitching it on, but it is a gorgeous, gorgeous yellow. Again, we got Zweigart, right? The orange. It's a nice soft fabric. It very much reminds me of Picture This Plus. Maybe a little bit better, like a little heftier, because Picture This Plus I find is the flappiest of all of them. But this is definitely soft. If you don't like stiff aida, this is not stiff in any means. It feels good. First time I'll be stitching on this when I figure something out. I have no idea. What do you think? What would you stitch on this? I have ideas, but then there's always a floss color that's like yellow. And I'm like, well, that won't look good on this. I won't be able to see it. But that was the first bit. The second bit, yes, I bought 2 of almost the same color, was a Friday night fight night. Brandy at BeStitchMe on Friday nights, not maybe 2 or 3 Friday nights a month, not all 4. I know this weekend she's taking the weekend off for family time. But many Friday nights at, well, it's 10 o'clock Eastern time. I think it's 9 o'clock be Central. She puts a boatload of fabrics in the albums, all the different counts that she dyes that week. And then, you know, it's a me please. And the first one that says it gets it. And I know sometimes people will also, if you are doing it and you didn't get it the first time, if you are, say you love it, put next in line, because I think people do pass up some things. So you may end up getting something. These are both in the same colorway, and I think it's on her website now. This is gorgeous. So these are called Phoenix. I wanted to open it up because you can see how much variety. This one was a little bit more yellow. So you've got really yellow in the center, and then you have more of the oranges around the edges of this one. The second Phoenix was a little bit more orangey. Still has the yellow center, but do you see how it's definitely more mottled with the orange, which I am loving. So I didn't have a specific idea for these, but I was thinking about it. I have this Prairie Schooler, and this is, tell me what you guys think. I have this Weatherwise Prairie Schooler, and I really like this one, which is the Red Sky at Night. You know, Sailor's Delight, Red Sky and Morn, Sailor Take Warning. Oh, Red Sky and Morning, Sailor Take Warning. And I thought one of these, whether it's the one that's more yellow in the center or this one, would be fantastic because you'd have like almost like a orangey reddish sky up top. And then you'd have, you know, the other color where you'd be stitching the kind of the village and the water and everything on. I don't know. I've not stitched this. I haven't looked at the colors. It just jumped out at me like, wow, that might be really interesting and a great way to do it. Because I'm not sure what I would do otherwise. I want to capitalize on the saying. I guess that the one thing I'd have to be careful about is you've got, you know, all of this part here. I don't know what color that is. So I'd have to pull it or try something else, I suppose. And that's where the more yellowy one might work out better. Is this the more yellowy one? Just because then I'd have more, it'd be stitched on the yellow part. So I don't know yet. What do you think? Do you think it would work? Have you done it? Would you do it on if you did it? I'd be really curious to know. Those are the things that I bought. I do have a few patterns, and I ended up, one I just stumbled on. One was from a Flosstuber, and they're free. So I wanted to share them with you. So the first one that I stumbled on, I was trying to actually, I was looking for a book called Sand, Sea, and Cross Stitch. I saw it on Helen D. Now, because I'm watching her older videos, this was probably 2 years ago, I promptly went to Amazon and looked it up, and it's out of print at the moment. So of course you can buy it used for $60, $70, eBay, I think it was like 40. I'm persistent, so I will find it eventually. Just, it may take me time because I loved some of the things I've seen. I Googled it and different people had stitched some stuff from it. But in the process of Googling that on images, I found this, it's a blog from the UK, and she does patterns, and they're for free. I think she also sells kits, but right now, because of shipping issues, I'm not sure if she's selling any kits right now. So I think, I don't know. I didn't explore it super far, but I was loving some of her freebies. And the 3 beach ones, which totally caught my eye, I thought they'd be cute in some, let's see if I can do it, in some sort of like triptych or make a scene. I thought it'd be nice to do some sort of beach scene. I thought that would be cute. So she has got 2 pages worth of freebies of all different things. It's called The World in Stitches, and it's a UK blog. It might be a blog spot. I can't tell. I'll link it so that you know. How about this bunny? Isn't he adorable? I thought he was really, really cute. And then there was one more that, oh, look at the little coffee, the latte. I thought that was adorable too. But she's got some really great options. They're free. So I thought that was really nice. So I picked up a few of those, and did I print them off? I think I printed them off, but I'm not sure when I'm starting them. But that was one set. Then the other thing was I was watching Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World. Julie, right? Julie, please, I hope it's Julie. What is it with me and names? I'm horrible. I apologize, but I'm 99% sure it's Julie. So anyway, I was watching her last Flosstube video, and she has jumped into the world of designing. And she very generously is offering her patterns right now on a site called Gumroad, which I've used a few other times for other things. It's one of those where you can offer something for free, but you can also offer something and say, pay a fair price or pay what you can type of thing. So these are all, they're technically free. They are free. And she has most definitely said that. And when she was designing, I know she tried to also think about stitchers that might not be using a ton of fancy floss. I think there's only like a couple pieces that might be used in some of the patterns, and she's really thought about that as well, you know, charting with some DMCs. So these are what she has offering. So right now, there is one that is a little saltier, which it's a verse, and she calls it Salty 24/7. And then she has 3 houses, and this one, they come as a 3 set. You can also do each one separately. And they're Nantucket houses, I think she called them, which are gorgeous. So this is I immediately went and I grabbed these houses. But she, you know, there is, you can just do a download of one by itself of each of the different designs if you wanted to, versus the 3. I think the 3 would be cute, like in a row of houses. Reminds me of, I've never been to Nantucket. I know I live in New England. Never been to Nantucket. They remind me a lot of Newport. When you first cross into Newport, as you're looking across towards the bridge, there's the water. I think is it Goat Island? There's like part of the town there before you get to the really busy town part. And the houses really remind me, they really look like this. And I have my husband and I used to go to Newport when the kids were little. Every year in October, we would take a long weekend right after the season ended, and we would stay in that area at a B&B, and we would walk then to the busier part. And so we'd always be walking by these houses. So that's what it reminds me of, which is a nice memory. So I immediately grabbed those. I will link Julie's Flosstube below. And if you go to her Flosstube, this past video, so I don't know, it's the week of June 29th, if you're watching this later on, but I'll link the actual video. She has a link to the Gumroad site, but also if you want to watch, I think she starts the video with the new designs and how they look stitched up, so that if you aren't watching her, but again, she's a long-time Flosstuber, you're probably watching her long before I was. If you're not watching her, you get a chance to see the patterns as done up, and they are beautiful. So those were the 2 things of patterns that I picked up this week, and that's it for shopping. That's all I got. So let's finish up with a couple things with giveaway, and then I'll send you on your way so you can enjoy your holiday weekend. The first thing was that I had done a kind of de-stash. This is a piece of 28 count. It's coffee tea dyed by the company, not me. So I bought this as a coffee tea dye is what they called it. It's pretty, there's no modeling. It's a solid color. It does have a few things off the edge of it because that's how it's been sitting, but I have not cut it. I haven't touched it. I haven't stitched on it. I haven't done anything. So it's de-stash, but it's never been used at all. So that was what I was giving away. And I asked you guys, what, if you were on a desert island and you could only take what count, what would it be? And 32 won out at the most. And then it was a close second between 28 and 16, which 16 makes sense if 32 is most popular because they're basically the same size, just 1/1 or 2/1 or 2/2 type of thing. So that was the giveaway, and now I thank you for all your answers, and I had a lot of fun with that to see what everybody was stitching on. And the person that is winning that is Bonnie Karen. So Bonnie, if you could get a hold of me, down below you will see my email address. So if you want to Gmail me, that's fine. I also have my Instagram down there. If you wanted to DM me, I have a public Instagram, so I don't think you even have to follow me to DM me. I don't know about that because I don't know all the stuff. But it's called Paper Laura. I will say, I don't always tell my Instagram at the beginning because it is not a stitching only Instagram. It's for my business. It's for my stitching, it's for my dog, it's for my recipes that I do. So it's a little bit of everything. So I know not everybody wants to follow that. So I don't really advertise it too much because you may not want to see pictures of my dog all the time. And I'm an awful, awful social media person. I am not great at updating things very much. So you won't always see things from me. So that's the other thing when it comes to that. But Bonnie, congratulations. Now, originally I was not going to do a giveaway this week because I really don't have anything at the moment. But then I saw some people were talking about Misty from Luminous Fiber Arts has got a new pattern out, and she's doing it to fundraise for her niece and nephew. Her nephew is very ill, and I believe he has young children, and so all the proceeds at the moment for a year, I think, are going towards help for them. And it's a beautiful pattern, and so I decided now there's a PDF and a print. I'm giving away a PDF version of it. So if you don't like doing PDFs, I just want to warn you, I am doing the PDF. So that's what it looks like. It's called, what is it called? I made it too big. It's called Gathering Berries. And that's a picture of it. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I'll link Luminous Fiber Arts below if you'd like to see it in her Etsy shop. So what I will do is next week I'll pick a winner, and I will ask the winner to send me your email, which I will then give to Misty, and she will directly email you the pattern since it is a PDF. And what I'd like to know this week, so you know our house was supposed to start this week, but it got pushed back again. I don't think this thing's ever getting built, but we're building a house. And for a while, I'll be floating between the two places while my son is still in school. So I'm not outfitting the whole house. I'm getting washer dryer, I'm getting beds for the bedrooms, and then I definitely want the kitchen. We like to make a lot of our meals, so I want the kitchen in a good spot. So I'm currently trying to figure out what I need to get for all the kitchen doodads. So my question to enter you into this giveaway is, what is a must-have if you were starting brand new with the kitchen? What's the first thing you say I absolutely have to buy is a must-have that I have to have in my kitchen? So let me know what that is for you. I keep thinking, oh, I need that, but I'm afraid I'm forgetting something that I use all the time and it'll drive me nuts. Not that I just can't get it, but I'm trying to do a little bit at a time so that it's easier if I buy a little something every couple weeks and I just have the pile, so when the house is ready, I will have a kitchen that's ready. One less thing to have to worry about. So that's the question for you. As usual, please be 18. Please don't say giveaway. I would love it if you were a subscriber. I know some people are private, and I know you're private for a reason, so I'm not going to make you be public subscribers. I would love it if you'd be one, but that's just how I'm gonna roll with that. And that's it for the giveaway. Other than that, I got nothing for life. Life is just, it's quiet. It's rolling along. We're in July. I am super excited. Today, Disney Plus is streaming Hamilton, and I did not get a chance to see it on Broadway, so I am super excited to see it. That is our big plans for July 3rd. July 4th, I think just keeping the dog from going crazy when everybody starts shooting off their fireworks will be on the agenda. Noises never used to bother him, and as he's gotten older, the thunder and most especially fireworks really have started to bother him. So he just barks. So hopefully there won't be too much going all night long, so that he won't be sad and nervous all night long. But that's my big plan for the holiday weekend. I got pretty much nothing else. We are still hanging out and staycation at home every day, all day. But that's okay. That's all right. Eventually we will be able to feel more comfortable. But until then, my stitchy friends, I hope you are getting a lot of stitching done. I hope you're well. I hope you're safe. And I just want the best for you. I hope you have a good holiday weekend. If you were in the US, it was, oh, happy Canada Day for Canada viewers, right? That was just a couple days ago. And in other parts of the world, thank you for watching. This weekend doesn't mean much, I guess, but have a good weekend. I have family in Ireland, and I feel like my cousin every other week has a bank holiday weekend. So I know there's a lot of holidays out there for some of you people. All right, stitchy friends, have a great week. I love you all, and I hope you get a lot of stitching done. Until next time, happy stitching.